Hey everybody! Welcome back to Randy's Beer Garden. It's a real pleasure to have you back here with me. We're going to be checking out one of a small number of, I would say, PA classic Oktoberfests. Very appropriate for the season. But before we begin, I just wanted to say thank you all again for watching and hopefully enjoying our time together here. This is going to be my second installment. The first video was a little bit crunchy. Uh, Still working out audio and visual hiccups. Still getting comfortable with how everything works on the camera. I am very well aware that my first video, I have a 4K capable camera, but I kind of screwed up and just recorded everything in PC camera mode because I'm still figuring stuff out. So I apologize sincerely for the rough audio quality of my first video, but from here on out it should look and sound better. So without further ado, let's move on to the review. This is Yuengling Oktoberfest. It's a classic. Unlike the Sam Adams that we were checking out yesterday, this one actually is spelt the more traditional way. Ooh, very shiny there. But as you can see, there's a K instead of a C. And that is how it should be spelt. I actually did a little bit of digging into this. It says on the website that this is an homage to Yuengling's German heritage, which is a long and storied heritage. The name Yuengling ironically means youngsters or young people in German, which is quite the opposite of what Yuengling actually is, as they are the oldest continuously operated brewery in the United States currently. I must say, overall, I enjoy Yuengling's product, but some of their newer offerings I find to be a little bit cloyingly sweet, perhaps is the best way to describe them. Like Bongo Fizz, I've tried it a few times, and there is a sort of natural sweetness from the mango flavor, but to me that sort of overrides the premium beer quality that lies underneath that. And it just kind of comes across as being something that was meant for younger drinkers, but still has that sort of old man beer taste underneath it. And it just doesn't gel for me. Speaking of me, there's a neat story about this Alaska Thunder sweater, I guess, baseball jacket. I'm not sure. I ordered it at the height of the pandemic, and she did not get here until 2 or 3 weeks later, after I received an email saying that they did not have any more of these, and they completely refunded my order. So I essentially got this for free, and I'm not complaining. I'm very pleased about it. We stand Alaska. So, back to beer. Let's take a look at what this beer has to offer in the bottle. I love this because it's a twist off, and this time of year, those are in short supply. Most of these craft Oktoberfests and Halloween flavored, themed beers, I should say, tend to be either in a can, as the newer sort of craft beers tend to be, or old school bottle where you're going to need an opener. But this one, yeah, twists right off, and it doesn't affect the quality of the beer. Pretty awesome. So, definitely more of a smell right out of the bottle here. That first beer, the Sam Adams Oktoberfest, there was hardly any smell out of the bottle whatsoever. So we're going to pour this, get a nice pour going. Not crazy, but nice. Looks a lot like the Sam, definitely lighter in color, not as rich amber colored. Similar head. As you can see, once again in my medieval times glass. Shout out, hashtag medieval times. Hashtag living 15th century. This looks lovely. Honestly, I like that it's a little bit lighter in color than the Sam Adams, because it's more translucent that way. And to me, that's how Oktoberfests tend to look. They have that very translucent, like the way your hand looks like all like stretched out and weird through there. That's how it should look. Nice foamy head, dissipating at almost exactly the same rate, I would say, as the Sam. We'll just set that down for a second, let it do its thing here. Yeah, I think at this point the Sam was almost exactly like a 1 or 2, 1.5 finger head there. And just like the Sam, I let this warm up a little bit so that when I poured it, it wouldn't just be, from cold. Typically, Oktoberfests, because of the way that they were brewed back in 1810, they weren't stored in refrigeration. They were stored underground or in large vats. So, yeah, they wouldn't be at like 40 degrees. They'd be in the 50s, generally. Oh, yeah, much more of a smell. Much more of a smell. I, I, I hate to compare it to rancid dishwater, but there is a little bit of that in there. It's still more of that almost like wet wood kind of a smell, similar to the Sam Adams, but there's way more going on. It's much more complex in a way that people who are not beer aficionados may not appreciate. So let's give her a try. Mmm. Ooh, yeah. Now this is what we're talking about. This is groovy, baby. I like that. This has a lovely taste. It's not too sweet. It's well balanced. Oh, much more of that herbal hops kind of taste. That grainy herbal hops kind of. There's definitely a little bit of a gritty texture that is not in the Sam Adams. The Sam Adams, crazy smooth. This is a little bit rougher, which I actually don't mind. I actually kind of like that slightly rougher texture. It reminds me more of traditional German Oktoberfests, which have a little bit more character to them. The, a lot of the very traditional, quote unquote, Oktoberfest that I've had that are made by craft breweries tend to be extremely smooth. And I've had a lot of German Oktoberfests, and most of the really high-end ones, such as Hofbräu, are more like this. They have a little bit more of a roughness to them. And I like that, personally. I like the sort of prickliness from the car, like that snap that they have. A lot of like the Sam Adams ones don't really have that. It's much more smooth, which I think is done to attract a wider audience of people who would probably be drinking seltzers and cocktails and stuff like that. Younger people. Say it flat out, younger people. The my cousin from Boston types. Whereas this is meant to appeal towards people like myself who are big time into beer, and especially this particular type of beer, Marzen. They know they got to go traditional with this one. They know they got to go traditional with this one because they've been around for a very long time. They're of German descent, so they need to do this in a traditional way. Otherwise, people like me are going to get real upset. Give you a 12 on Beer Advocate. Actually, this has a 77 on Beer Advocate, which I think is pretty good. That's a pretty solid score for this, for what it is. I know I said I'd give the Sam Adams an 8 out of 10 gazufas. I'm going to give this one also an 8 out of 10 gazufas. It's similar quality, lower in price, probably a little bit more traditional, authentically traditional. So yeah, it's groovy, and I dig it. Thank you all once again for another installment, my second episode, Squeesh, Squeesh, Squeesh. I hope you all come back to the beer garden. I hope you all like, subscribe, ding, 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 and leave a comment down below because that helps out the channel, and what helps out the channel helps you out. And thank you again for watching. Take care.